In the work, the boy communicates how the day is going to be and that his partner shouldn't blunder, and soon the boy falls down there. His partner gets desperate and screams, "Anderson, Anderson, my God in heaven, and now Anderson." Soon a woman appears and asks Na-ten about what had happened, and Na-ten says that everything happened very fast, and Bet says that's your only job and you still do poorly, and he tries to say that he can explain, and Bet tells him to be quiet, and because Na-ten had asked to buy safety equipment again, and he asks, "Did you not see what happened?" She said, "No, I don't know what happened," and she replied saying, "I already told you that the company is in the red. So I want you to use the equipment from past works, and that way we will save us all." If some time passes and a man appears screaming, "Anderson, where are you? Anderson, Anderson, where are you, my brother?" Beth says, "What is this? Let go of me, who do you think you're talking to?" Na-ten replied saying, "I thought you were talking about the accident that just happened here, now," and she asks, "What accident? What are you talking about?" And he tells her that Anderson just fell from up here and now we need to call the police, the ambulance, and I'm scared. Bet replied, "I'm going to call my work supervisor, but you're on your own and I'm going to call now," and Na-ten says to ask that all that was her fault, because she kept ordering the equipment from past works to be used, and now look what happened, it's your fault. Bet said no one would believe that story, and now I'm not going to call anyone, you'll solve everything, because you were the one who was working with him. Again his brother shouts, "Anderson, where are you? Where are you? Anderson." When approaching Bet, he asks, "Have you seen Anderson?" Soon Bet replied saying, "By any chance is there any drool from him here? Have you looked in the corner store? Or if he shouldn't be sleeping, because he's too lazy," and his brother explains that he had just gone there to pick up a package that Anderson had, and Beth replied, "Go to the grocery store to pick up the package, because this is a workplace." The brother agrees, and soon remembers that Na-ten was training his brother and asks Na-ten to be patient with him, because that way he would learn quickly, and warns that he is leaving and wishes them a good job. Then Na-ten remembers a conversation he had with one of his workmates who said, "Do you know who will join the work?" Nathan answered, "No, who?" The boy said, "It's Anderson, but I heard that you're going to train him and you're going to rock it, but despite everything he has a good heart," and Na-ten said, "Leave it to me, because he's going to be the best in this job, you can leave it to me." Soon the boy jokes saying, "Go teach him like I taught you, right?" Na-ten replied that he taught what, but you can let me teach you properly. Bet explains that there would still be time to call the police or the ambulance and prove that it was nothing more than an accident, and if his brother finds out that you knocked him down, he'll put you in jail for the rest of your life, and I think you better get rid of that rope, and if someone asks you, you don't know anything, and hurry up. Na-ten thinks about what Beth had said about calling the police or the ambulance and explaining that it was nothing more than an accident. Na-ten calls his wife and says, "Love, I got myself into a big problem here at work." Alone, the brother says that he's already been there, but he hasn't found Anderson, but in that work there must still be plenty of places to look. Nathan's wife is terrified and soon asks what had happened and if everything was okay with him. Na-ten replied saying that everything was not fine, that there had been an accident at the construction site and it was looking like it was his fault, and my boss wants to call the police and I will have to turn myself in. The wife again asks what happened. And he says that he would never hurt anyone, but that they were threatening him that if he was called to the police or the ambulance he would be sent away, and they needed money, and then his wife says that she knows he would never hurt anyone, but what happened? Na-ten explains that the safety rope broke and then he accidentally fell and my boss wants to blame it on me. But I had already warned her that this equipment was very old and needed to be replaced, and his wife asks him to stay calm, and he explains that Bet had said that if he called the police or the ambulance he would be arrested, and then he tells his wife to pack all his things that they would run away, and she says that he was always so correct and that this was not the way to work things out, and he says, "I know, love, but am confused and scared." Anderson's brother, who was listening to the whole story, approaches Nathan, who confirms that he knew everything and that he had not winged nothing. Soon Natan tries to explain that the architect was trying to blame him, but Anderson's brother says he doesn't want to know and that he expected everything from Beth, except Natan, and Natan says he will bear all the consequences. Anderson's brother tells him he's really going and Natan asks him to calm down and listen to him. In the office, Beth tells me that there was a problem with the work, an employee fell here, but he doesn't have 7 lives and look, take all my things and separate everything, but I don't need money, because the money I diverted from the work is already enough and there's still left over, and don't forget your bags and also buy the plane tickets for today, it has to be today, bye. Anderson's brother pushes Natan and he asks him to take it easy. When passing through the door there is a boy who asks Beth, "Where are you going in such a hurry?" She replied, "I'm going to have lunch, Mr. Rodrigo," and he tells her he won't disturb her, but before she goes he wanted to say 3 things about the store and she asks him to talk and he said he's been reviewing the costs of the work, but they don't match nothing and the safety of my works are paramount. I prioritize that and I see that there isn't one here and asked Bet to think carefully about what to answer, because that could change everything. Natan is impressed to see Anderson alive and says he was very worried about him. Anderson gets up and says he only hurt his arm. Anderson's brother says that he only survived because he fell on the sand and that Natan should have called the ambulance, and I only found him because I was looking and because of that I had to talk to his supervisor. Rodrigo asks Bet when she was going to tell him about the accident and she asks him how he knew about it, and Rodrigo says that he had seen on the cameras what had happened at the scene. And do you know what else I found on the cameras? A briefcase of money, and you won't tell me about it? Give me back this briefcase, the police are already on their way, and if I were you, I would release them now, and after all this money here is mine, and how dare you do such a thing? I hope I never see you again. And the policeman screams, "You can take it," and Bet screams, "Don't touch me, let me go." Natan apologizes for what happened and promises that safety will be a priority on the job. Soon Rodrigo approaches and says that Natan will have to explain himself, because the way he acted was silent, and even so he would give Natan a second chance, and that from now on Natan would know how to act and prevent accidents like that from happening, and when you have the opportunity to do it right, do it, and Natan thanks you for the opportunity.